Hi warriors, this is Jalen, my legal warrior, and today's segment is going to be about mandatory settlement conferences. If you filed for a petition for a divorce, legal separation, or an annulment, then you will be given the opportunity to go through a mandatory settlement conference. The Mandatory Settlement Conference is a conference that is between you and your attorney, the opposing party and their attorney, as well as a volunteer attorney from the local community. This volunteer attorney is impartial to either party, and they are there to help all of the parties reach a resolution and to settle the case. That is their only purpose, is to settle your matter. There might be some lingering issues that's preventing you and the other party to settle, and so it's going to require the help of another professional with a fresh set of eyes to look at your matter and see what is best here. Do I want to try and settle now, or do I want to go and risk it at trial? And depending on the personalities and the reality of each individual's situation, they will likely settle their matter at the time of the mandatory settlement conference. Now, the mandatory settlement conference is not just automatically given to the parties. So how does one get to the mandatory settlement conference? The mandatory settlement conference requires discovery to be complete in the matter. So you, by that point, must have exchanged your preliminary declarations of disclosure. You also must have discovery complete, because by the time you get to that settlement conference, that means you are able to make an informed decision because you are aware of the other party's assets, debt, income, as well as expenses. And at the time of the settlement conference, you can go ahead and complete a final declaration of disclosure. My legal warrior recommends that best preparation for a mandatory settlement conference is to have the final declaration of disclosure complete. You may waive the final declaration of disclosure, and if you're not sure what a declaration of disclosure is, then please review one of our videos on that particular topic. So you and the other party are mandated, you must attend the mandatory settlement conference. And again, discovery is complete, disclosures are complete, you are ready to try and settle the case. You would have to go to your resolution conference. So the court automatically assigns a family resolution conference at the time that you file a petition for a divorce, annulment, or a legal separation. And at that date, which is typically 6 months from the time that you actually filed your petition, you can request from the court to schedule a mandatory settlement conference. And the mandatory settlement conference is going to be probably 30, 45, sometimes 60 days out. And you are going to learn as to whom that person is, who is the settlement conference judge, this volunteer attorney from the community, at least 10 days prior to your settlement conference. So you need to make sure that you contact your clerk, the settlement conference clerk, and ask the contact information for your settlement conference judge. In preparation of your mandatory settlement conference, you must have your mandatory settlement conference brief completed, served on the other party, and delivered to the settlement conference judge. So what does that mandatory settlement conference brief look like? Well, it's a form. So you're going to pull up this mandatory settlement conference form and you're going to complete it. This is one of the most crucial parts of your mandatory settlement conference, because that means you and the other party have discussed the disputed issues and are able to resolve those disputed issues. This is the best way to figure out the issues to be litigated. So you're going to complete this entire form and you're going to submit it to the other party as well as the settlement conference judge. After you submit this, then at the day of your settlement conference, hopefully you and the other party have now resolved your matter, every single issue. This is what we call a global settlement. And you and all the parties that are present, so you and the other party, the settlement conference judge, your attorneys, are going to complete this form. So this mandatory settlement conference term sheet resolves all of the issues in your divorce, legal separation, or your annulment. And after you complete this form, you can have it filed on the same day as your mandatory settlement conference. Most of the time, you are officially divorced or legally separated, or the annulment is official, as of that day. You can request that from the court. You can also agree with the other party that that is the day that you will dissolve your marriage or legal separation or annulment. So this is a great form to use. You are encouraged, it's not mandatory, but you are encouraged to use it on the day of your settlement conference. And then you and your attorney or the other party's attorney, somebody is going to complete a judgment packet, which will include all of the terms in the mandatory settlement conference term sheet. Thank you so much, warriors. If you found this video helpful in any way, please share this with friends, families, basically your clique. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and especially during COVID-19 or quarantine, that individuals are being taken advantage of. They're reading things, misinterpreting it. You have no idea how many conversations I've had in at least the last 30 days. And there's a lot of misinformation out there as to what party may or may not be able to do. Why am I sharing this during COVID-19? Why do I think this is important information to have during COVID-19? Because if your case has already commenced, has already started, you're in the middle of your case, this is something for you to think about now. Perhaps instead of just kind of sitting on your hands, you can talk to the other party of, hey, let's go ahead and try and resolve this. Maybe we won't have a volunteer attorney from the community to assist us with this case, but maybe we can look at this term sheet. Maybe we can look at these brief. Let's try to just keep things moving in our matter and not wait until the court's open and not wait until the court appoints us a free mandatory settlement conference judge. We want to resolve this so that by the time the courts are open, all we need to do is submit our proposed judgment. Now, if you are in a stage where you haven't filed a petition for anything, and of course the courts are not able to accept a petition for anything, so divorce, legal separation, or annulment, if that's where you are, look at these forms so it allows you as well as the other party. It's very helpful to communicate with the other party as to what issues you can resolve right now. You may not be able to resolve all of the issues realistically because both of you might need representation, both of you might not understand how the law works in terms of certain aspects for characterization of property, division of assets, things like that. But educate yourself. This is a great time to educate yourself. Everything's on pause during COVID-19. So you might as well educate yourself about the forms, what kind of issues you can try to settle, and perhaps what you can compromise to reach a settlement. Because at the end of the day, it's about your peace of mind. All right, thank you, warriors, and please share and subscribe to our channel. And we hope that you are staying safe and you are well during COVID-19. Thank you.